Sorry about that. I guess I had my microphone off there, so you guys missed all of that. But got into a trade here, looking to see if we can get a continuation push to the downside here, risking about 24 points. TP's at about 36 points, right back to the point of control. So we'll see if we can get a nice little early morning winner here. Sorry about that with my mic. But again, I had an update on OBS when I came back from my trip. And whenever it does that, it sets the microphone back to default, which I don't know why it does that, but. So like I stated, you guys missed all my morning. We do have some volume sitting up here, key level at the 26,840 that the market could definitely want to tap into here. So if that's the case and we do break this high here, which would stop me out of this trade, then we'll just look for possibly the continuation back to the upside here. But in general, market seems pretty rangy right now. So let's just see if we can continue with that range. I'd be perfectly fine because we most likely will take out my TP. We did have a pretty nice little initial push there to the downside. It's probably 20 points in profit there, but let's see if we can take TP here. And again, if the trend establishes that we're going to be continue to the upside, we'll follow that trend and see if we can ride that one out. Hopefully we can get out of this range, hopefully to the downside here. And as this one was a pretty nice risk to reward, I mean, again, the entries all are pretty logical, okay? So you've got your stop, which is pretty controlled at 24 points. TP right here at the point of control, which is where the most most activity has happened right now on the market. Again, we got to about 25 points of profit there. Let's see if we can get this final push here. Another 10 points. So came right to entry there. There we go. Nice early morning winner right there for 36 points. Nice trade to start the week and the morning. All right, nice little winner there. And I could have got the full TP on that one as well. But I will explain to you guys what my thinking was there. You know, first move of the morning is typically going to be with one position, my lowest position size, which I'm perfectly fine with. And as my risk to reward was already probably close to 1 to 1.5, I took the most logical target here at the point of control. You obviously could have been another probably 20, about 17 more points to get down to the value area low, which in hindsight would have been a great trade. But as this was a positive risk to reward trade, I was perfectly happy with that first target for the first trade here of the morning. And then I'll kind of go over my analysis here that that you guys probably didn't hear. And I'm sorry for my Signal members. You've probably heard this already 2 times. But we got some key levels up here on the NQ at the 840 and the 885. I said one of our scenarios this morning could be a tap into this volume that's sitting here. Besides that, we have a pretty big area down here that is unbalanced volume from buyers. And we do have a key level sitting here at the 26,468 and a key level sitting at the bottom of this unbalanced volume at the 26,439. So one scenario here this morning could be just a kind of a quick tap and go. More likely would be a sweep and go from and knocking out this volume sitting down here. And on the ES, again, we've got two key areas sitting above us. So I said that this could be definitely a target for the early session move. Below us, we've got the 7102. And then we also have an unbalanced volume area here from buyers, which is similar to the NQ. The only difference here is that I don't anticipate a sweep of this band. What I anticipate here is more of a tap and go from these key levels sitting right here at the 77 and the 75. And then in gold, we've got two areas here, the 4890s to the 4874s and the 4775 to the 4756. Both of these are going to be hard areas for gold to get out of. And then we've got a really big band sitting here below us in gold. And this could be considered a weekly band. So again, very hard for gold to get through the 4707s to the 4664s. And then we've got a more detailed area here at the 4683 that could obviously see a nice rejection here as well. So we'll be taking a look at those three markets here. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Keith. Hopefully you guys captured some points on that one. And again, yes, you know, your TP1 was sitting right here at the 26,767, which is the point of control, and that was my target. The secondary target is just the continued break of structure to the downside, okay? Because we already broke structure already on this leg. So again, we've been taught continue with the trend, the mini trend. This is not a daily trend. This is not a 1 hour trend. For the most part, you know, if you get into the afternoon and you get, you know, 3 down 120 range candles, that might be close to 45 minutes of price action. But in the early morning, you get that in within a few minutes. Up until probably 10:30, 11 o'clock, you get those. These are mini, just really mini trends. And all we're really just trying to do is to buy on the pullback, buy at a better price, which is the value area high here, okay? And then we just try to target the most logical place, which again was the point of control sitting right here. And yes, I left 16 points on the table, not targeting this low down here. But first trade of the morning, which again could be a little squirrely, and didn't have a secondary position to get into. So it's not like the point of control was sitting up here, where then I could take maybe one entry here, take another entry here, and then kind of, you know, if that's the only target that I have, then I only go for this. So this really makes it very logical. Everything becomes very, very logical when you start using the fixed volume profile for your trades this way. And again, I think it's a pretty easy way to follow. And we're not looking for a trend here, because here we've only got 2 down 120 range bars. Minimum needs to be 3. The sweet spot is 3 to 5. Anything bigger than 5, you've got to be careful, as that generally turns into a B to a B minus setup. The position could be really big, and you know, the market could look for you know, a smaller pullback and go down, and then you miss your entry up here, and then we could come right back up here and then just start to sail. So I like to stay within these smaller ranges of the 3 to 5 120 range bars. Not to say I won't take a six box trade, But the 3 to 5 is really a really nice trade because everything gets very symmetrical and very prop friendly, very position size friendly. Now we'll just kind of continue to see what the market wants to give us. You know, another beauty of these AVT setups, which is auction volume trend, is that we are looking for a trend, a mini trend, but we are looking for a trend. So the nice thing about the 3 to 5 120 range bars is that for each one of these bars is obviously 30 points, right? Or 120 ticks. So in theory, you're going to be in that 70 to 90 point move to the downside. Okay. So, and again, that's a pretty healthy move on the NQ. You know, typically the NQ might move 400 to 500 points per day. And, you know, so it's a nice little healthy move to the downside. It's not super aggressive. It's not a 250 point move. It's not even a 150 point move. You know, those are the ones that can get a little overextended. These kind of continue within that mini trend to the downside. And the beauty of the minimum rule of 3 is the minimum, is that it will avoid if we start getting into choppy areas. Okay, like this would be avoided, this gets avoided, and really only looks for the better setups that we saw right here, which is again your healthier move, impulsive move, break of structure, everything that is taught in my volume masterclass course, just now built in with your trading levels built in right here. So entry, TP, TP, stop loss. And I might have missed my, let's see, we did not tap in yet on our 15-minute IB. And I did not track Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So if you guys took these trades on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, let me know if they were profitable or not. And I didn't even click the button to get in there, but let's see if we can take a trade here. All right, I'm in this one here a little late, but that entry should have been up here. Let's see if we get a nice little continuation move to the downside. Oh, now I'm in 2 positions. Oh no. I had pressed the short button twice down. I probably lost. No, I made 4 points. Oh, that was crappy. So on this bar, I clicked my close button, but this one closed before the trade ended. And I then hit it again, but then there was a market order sitting right here. Actually, I think it was right here. It was the next candle. So I got in on 2 positions there. So I kind of fumbled that a little bit, and we still would not have been out of this trade because your entry would have been right here. And I don't think that would have been enough just yet. Ruler here down to here. This looks like to be like 14 points only, 15 points. All right, so that looks like, well, we still would not be out of this trade here yet, but getting pretty close to it. This would have been your This is where your stop loss would have been. Yeah, you would have been knocked out of that trade already. Okay. So we'll call that break even. Probably made 4 points on that, but we'll just consider that to be break even. And a fumble trade. Alright, so now we got time here, so we'll get this guy here. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here for a little bit. Right. So yeah, I don't know if anybody took the initial balance 15-minute trade Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, but I'd be curious to see what the results were. I'll go and obviously take a look at the charts. But let me put that one in my tracker. And I believe you would have been able to get to pretty close to break even on that initial push. 1-1 down right here. Yeah, this is practically a break even right here. Because remember, the goal of this strategy is to get to break even as quickly as possible on this 15-minute range. So your stop loss would have been sitting right here, trailed to right here, and then on your first real break of this box, your stop loss goes right here, and at that point you're pretty much sitting break even. So how was everyone's week last week? Obviously, I was in Washington, D.C. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. My flight, first of all, we had a phenomenal trip. I was chaperoning the 8th grade, my daughter's 8th grade D.C. trip. So there was about a total of 30 kids, and I think about 14 chaperones. So it was a pretty big sized group. I mean, an absolute shit ton of walking. I think we walked about an average of 7 miles every single day. And we were gone from like 7:30 in the morning. We didn't get back into the rooms till about 9:30, 10. So it was pretty exhausting. But the one thing I will say is that we really covered almost everything. They got to go into the White House. I didn't get to go into the White House, only two chaperones per day because they broke it up. They've got a lot of restrictions on it. And but I mean, we got to go see everything. I mean, the Holocaust Museum, the Smithsonian, all the memorials, the Air Museum, we just literally everything. I mean, I don't think there was anything left. We went to the 9/11 memorial at the Pentagon. God, there were so many that we went to go see. It was great. But the trip kind of ended off on a kind of a shitty note because we were supposed to fly back Friday night. And that was the night that you guys got some pretty bad, well, we got some pretty bad weather here in Chicago. And they ended up canceling our flight as all 50 of us, or 44 of us, were sitting at the airport. So we had to scramble to book another hotel to fit that many rooms. I think we had a total of 15 rooms that we needed to book. We needed to get a bus from the airport back to the hotel, from the hotel back to the airport the next morning. We flew out early the next morning, and it was kind of a little tough. I mean, the kids actually enjoyed it because they got an extra day to be with their friends and stuff like that. But logistics-wise, it was kind of a nightmare. And I got home, and I took about a 6-hour nap. The second I hit the couch, I couldn't keep my eyes open. My back is sore. My legs are sore. I really haven't gotten into my walking routine. I usually take walks once the weather starts getting a little nicer here in Chicago. So I don't really enjoy treadmills or anything inside. So that was kind of a shock to the system, for sure. But we had fun. I think the kids, we made some great memories for sure. So we're pretty much just waiting here now for, we'll see, we've got our 1, 2, 3 up 120 range bars, which is our first criteria here. Now we'd like to stay within this 3 to 5 up candle move to the upside here. And now we're just waiting for our first retracement candle down for us to put in our fixed volume profile of the entire move and see where we can get some entries and some TPs at. And in the meantime, just kind of looking out on the bigger picture here on some key levels that the market could want to tap into again, which is at 26,840 sitting right above here. So we need one more tick here to complete this range box here, which looks like it we might get, which we did. So now let's see here where the setup appears. Pretty simple. So we're going to be at the value area low, targeting right here. And since again this is going to be a positive risk to reward scenario, that's going to be a 43-point target with a 31 point stop loss right there. Now again, if we close above this and we take out this level here, we close above it, then we'll cancel this one out and we'll look for the next leg, see what the market wants to do here. Take a quick peek at gold here. I don't think it's still kind of sitting in this range here. Yeah, not much to do there on gold. ES is approaching this key level up here at the 7164. So I'll kind of keep monitoring that one. And then we'll wait to see if we get triggered into this long here at the 26,746.75. We're about 6 points away from entry there on that low that that 120 range hit. So we'll see if we get triggered into this trade or not. Again, we're kind of already in unbalanced volume area, which is sitting right here. So if there's going to be a reaction to the upside, it should happen in this vicinity right here, which could be from right here. But again, just to make things very simple, mechanical, we're going to wait here for the value area low. So what do they always say? Buy low, sell high. All right, so we're in this trade here. So again, we are targeting the point of control sitting right up here at the 26,790. And we've got our stop sitting really pretty much at the break of structure down here. So again, if the market wants to rip to the downside, we'll obviously be wrong here. And then we'll look to see what we can maybe capture back down to the downside. And what we're hoping for here is rejection of the value area low, and then just come right back up here and target again this point of control sitting right up here, and your more aggressive target is sitting at the 26,805-ish. And again, if the market wants to range, you know, if it wants to range here, I'm okay with that because the range will continue and it should knock you, should get you to your TP. You know, if it wants to break structure and wants to head to the lower, you know, that's fine too. That we continue to follow that trend to the downside then at that point. But if it wants to range right here, it's perfect. It's a perfect market condition for a range here. If it wants to rip to the upside, beautiful. Then you're going to get your target 1, and you most likely will also get your target 2. And then we'll continue to take the next trade to the upside. Morning, Nate. I'm also aware on this move to the upside. Once we come down, this is going to be your little area of resistance here. Okay, this is going to be the area where the market's going to want to rebalance. So we are anticipating it rebalancing this area right here, again, which is your POC, and where the most volume and transactions happened at. So we're just trying to take it right back to that level and continue on with this temporary uptrend that we just had. But we'll see. We'll see what the market wants to do. All right, so at best here on this initial move to the upside, which is pretty much where the unbalanced volume was sitting at, we got to the lower region of it. I think I saw 20 points flash up there on the screen, probably because the target's 43 up here. So we'll see if we can finish off this trade here. All right, gonna cut my wrist here to about 10 points. See if we can finish off the move here. So initially we had about 30 points of risk on, now we're down to about 10. And again, targeting 43 points of profit here. And again, it's going to, this area right here is going to see a little bit of resistance because we are in some of this unbalanced volume area sitting right here. But again, I'm just looking for it to, not even need for it to make the full move up here. I'm looking for it right here because this was already a positive risk to reward. Again, it was probably 1 to 1 1/4, I would say. We got right back to our entry. So can we kind of give up those 20 points that we were in profit there? Already reduced my risk, so nothing really left for me to do here. All right, so I got knocked out there on my reduced risk there of 10 points. So now we'll continue to see maybe if this move still continues, or if now we continue back to the downside. But it was a controlled risk there based on that nice little rejection that we had. To retest this area down here, and likelihood is that we probably come pretty damn close to this area right here, where it's going to have some liquidity obviously sitting. And still up for the morning, because first trade was about 36 points of profit. And yes, this would be very hard to see, us getting knocked out here by a point, as this reversed right on my stop loss. To go see it hit TP up here would be a real punch to the gut. So our TP was sitting right here. We got about 15 minutes for initial balance to be set. Let me just make sure I got that one set up here. All right, we're set there. We're kind of range bound right here. Look at the ES once again. ES still hasn't tapped into that key level. And again, our stop loss would have been sitting right here. At the 26,716, that was our original stop. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's just pretty much stuck in the same NQ correlation range. No high impact news scheduled for today. Tomorrow we got US retail sales at 7:30. I do see Trump's headline here at 8:26. I'm willing to meet with senior Iranian leaders if a breakthrough is reached. Okay, so that could have been the initial move, but again, I think they're going to need to hear some more concrete headlines, because I think a lot of the headlines over the last 2 weeks really haven't had much substance behind them, but the moves have been ridiculous. We'll be having our next, we'll be having Cash Profit Wednesday. This Wednesday the 22nd. Wednesday the 22nd. Kind of rejected there right at very close to that 15-minute initial range that we really haven't been able to break down from. Actually, I think this is sitting at the 75. There you go. So the sellers are, I'm sorry, the buyers here are trying to create a foothold here. And if you take a look at Bookmap on the NQ, you can see that the 26,715s, which is right here, there's a lot of stops sitting right here, a lot of liquidity sitting right there. So could be definitely an area that the market wants to tap into, that 715 area. Again, to break this trend to the upside here, it's got to take this out here at the 26,715, which is where my which is where the stop was sitting at, right here. And I'm happy with this reduced risk of 10 points here, regardless if this trade goes and rips and hits TP here. Perfectly happy with that decision right there to cut that trade off. Now, granted, if this would have ripped to the TP right off of this move right here, that would have been a different story. I would have been probably a little salty on that trade. All right, 9 minutes for initial balance to be set. And the 715s doesn't look like it was a stop loss area. As you can see, those are all, that's all been gone. So it kind of just prepped the market up there. It's going to see some resistance here at the 760s and then 775s, which the 775s puts it right around here. 775s is going to be right around here. All right, gold's making a nice little move here. Let's see what they did fill in the gap, Sunday's gap on gold. ES is still kind of sitting in this no man's land up here. The NQ's pretty much just been sitting in this range. It looks like we might hit TP here if we still would have been in this trade, but we'll see. All right, 5 minutes for IB to be set. AP, it's the. I mean, you get enough setups on the NQ that you could pretty much focus in on the NQ, but it works on the ES, works in gold. It's pretty much it's got the same principles everywhere. But if the NQ is going to give you, you know, 3 setups, 4 setups in a day, if you trade it till like noon. Gives you pretty quick resolutions to your trades. Maybe not this one. This has been going on for, well, I'd say that's not too bad. 20 minutes. A lot longer than the average trade, obviously, on NQ, but what can you expect when you're in this type of environment here? So low on this candle is 26,717, 717.50. So yeah, about 7 ticks off of our stop loss here. So we still would have been in that trade. Probably sweating it out a little bit on that move to the downside there, but we'll see if that lower pivot holds. And of course, everybody who's watching, I mean, if you want to take more trades and you want to take smaller scalps, you know, it's the same thing on the lower time frame. Instead of the 120, then you move down to the 60, and you're doing the same exact thing. Now, these are going to be really minor swings, really small swing points. But if you're looking for more trades with smaller risk, that's your. I don't have my thing on here. You know, it's the same setup. We would take a long right here, and you probably target the value area high in this scenario because you already took out the point of control here on the move down right here. So you'd have an entry here to go long, targeting the 26,763, stop at the 26,730. So it's the same scenario. It's the same setup, but you know, on half the time frame there. So you know, you're obviously going to get into more setups. Or if you're looking for a bigger time frame, then just multiply the 120. Go to the 240. And you might get one setup per day. You might not get any setups per day. On a range day like today, you're probably not going to see nothing yet. Because now the moves to equate to those 3 bars is 180 points, maybe 150 to 180, you know, because of the overlapping on some of the bars. Or the wicks, if you're on the candlestick. All right, so we're going to retest this lower pivot here. Let's see if it market breaks through there or not. And we got about 1 minute here for the initial balance. So initial balance might be sitting right at this low here. So let's get the 30 and the 60 ready here. Let's pop this to 20, and then let's see what we can get here. So we know if the IB gets tapped into, we would have been knocked out of that trade originally, and that reduced risk would have been a great preserving of capital there. Or not, or we get a ripper to the upside. Well, my son just texted me he made $200 today. Good job, buddy. Asking him what his entry was. All right, so we would have got knocked out of that trade here. Let's see if we get a flip. We do. Let's see if we bring this risk back up to about 11 points of risk here. Did get a nice flip there on the 30. Let's see if we can get a quick, you know what? Let's see if we can get a quick 15-pointer here. Let's not be greedy. Take that to break even. Come on. There you go. Nice trade there. Nice little 15-pointer off of the initial balance. Nice, very nice flip right there on the 30 range. Beautiful trade. So the capital preservation there was a great move. We would have obviously gotten stopped. Yeah. Did we get stopped out there? Oh, doesn't look like it on the chart, but I thought that was the initial balance. Maybe it wasn't. Had to have been, I thought. Not sure there. Either way, nice trade. All right, I am going to I'm going to get back to my style of trading, which is if I'm in profit and I feel like I've had some pretty good trades, I am going to call it for the day. And I am very happy with probably took home a little over 40 points on the NQ here this morning. So super happy with the trades here already. And I'll keep monitoring, and I'll stick with my signal service members here for a little bit, see if any other setups come up. But super happy for a Monday, and great start to the week here. And we'll continue to look for setups. I'll post them here on Discord as they come available. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you guys mañana.